So I'd like to tell you guys a story, a certain incident that had happened in my life that means so much to me that it makes me the person I am today. So this was back when I was in high school, almost 10 years ago. It was January 30th, 2004. It was one of those days, it had just snowed a few days prior, and the sun was out, so the sun was just beaming down on the snow, reflecting off, and it was making everything super, super bright. I was in school. School let out around like 2:30, and I always went immediately home for most part. This one day I go home, my mom confronts me at the door about losing this job that I had throughout high school. Me being who I was at that time, very hard-headed, angry, sulking all the time. I flipped out at her, I said, if you're not going to respect me, I'm not going to respect you, blah, 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 just went off on her. So I called my friend and I said, hey, can you come by the house and pick me up? And my mom's freaking out at me, I'm freaking out at her, I stormed out the front door, I said, bye, left. My friend had his girlfriend with him and she was sitting in the passenger seat, so I just quickly hopped into the back and we took off. Going to her house because her parents were gone. We hit a road that was pretty busy. The speed limit was 50, but in order to get into her driveway, we had to stop on the busy road to make a left turn in. We're waiting for a break in the traffic to be able to make a left-hand turn. We were rear-ended by a limousine at the speed of 50 miles per hour, which is a head-on collision. Me in the back seat taking all that impact. It completely broke me. Literally. Physically, I was a mess. I had a broken sternum, broken ribs, hit my face, I ripped my cheek open. Whatever. Sorry to be so graphic, but this is really what happened. Flew me by helicopter into a Philadelphia hospital. So when I get there, they noticed that through x-rays that I had this really dark mass, build up in my chest. I went into cardiac arrest. And I flatlined for nearly 3 minutes. It took me back into the x-ray room and saw that the mass had gotten bigger. They cut me open, they saw that the blood was immense, and they saw that it was coming from the aorta. It was completely severed in half. The aorta had somehow reconnected, blood binding clot around the tear to keep enough blood flowing through to keep me alive long enough to get me to the hospital. They called my mom and they said, hey, they called her several times, and they finally got a hold of her, and they told her what happened. She freaked out and rushed to the hospital. I had flatlined again. They revived me, got me back up, and they saw that my lung had collapsed. They had to rush me back in for emergency surgery, drain the lung, and make sure that it was strong enough to hold my breath. My mother arrives to the hospital. They weren't sure if I'd make it through the night. Completely broke down. She thought it was her fault. Don't even have the strength in me to even put myself in her shoes, because I don't want to ever be in a situation where I'm looking down at a child of mine that's going through this. So long and behold, the story and the outcome is that, yeah, this really was terrible. All this stuff happened. I was induced into a coma for 2.5 months. 2 types of pneumonia at one point. My temperature kept rising. My good and bad days while sleeping through this coma, I got better. One day I woke up. I had to learn how to walk all over again. I had to learn how to talk all over again. I had to learn how to write, do all the small things we all take for granted all over again. And so basically the story I'm telling you is because for me, it has inspired me to be more appreciative of everyday things, like the small and big things that happen throughout the days are just beautiful. It's just life. The positive energy that was given to me throughout this time period that I was experiencing all this agony and pain, that's what helped me get better. So that's my story. My name is Francis, and I hope this has been some kind of inspiration for you guys. Thank you.